Camera on table. Trying to figure out the best place to put this on my monitor so that I can kind of tell if it freezes. Whatever. So, got four decks to sleeve up. War Commander, Warhammer 40k. Got Necron, Dynasties. We got the Ruinous Powers. We got Forces of the Imperium. We got Tyrannid Swarm. And we got a secret lair to open at some point. Let's start with this. Let's start with Necron. Champion lodged. Nope. Jammed. Deck box that I'm not going to use. Well, we'll probably use for something else. Deck box. This stack of cards sitting in here. Spin down. Life counter. I think that's it. There's like some magic cardboard punch out shit, but I don't care. It's just cardboard. I mean, it's all just cardboard. Playing the deck. Primary Commander. Zarketh, the Silent King. Secondary Commander. Moketh, the Storm Lord. Why are the Necron black aligned? Any means necessary. Alright. Well, I got a lot of cards to get through. So. We got Perfect Sleeves. We got... And all the cards are going to go in this. Going to go in there. Because I'm going to keep these. My plan for now is to keep all these decks in as is. In one box, and then sleeves, and then keep them as a set because I just think they're fucking cool as is. And if I ever need to pull out a card for some other EDH deck or something, I'll do it. But I'll know where they are, and they could be. I just like the idea of having them all together. Honestly. Look, man, however people want to interpret what I'm doing, that's fine. I'm just doing a thing I want to do. Which is sleeving up Magic cards. That's all I want to do. In this moment. Stack. I didn't think about garbage. Zarketh, the Silent King. I didn't know if any of the cards were going to be... Yeah, all these are all EDH decks. So I'm just going to keep them in a box set as like a set of 4. And not even... I actually think the design on these decks is so fucking cool that I kind of don't want to do anything with them beyond that. I just treat them like a board game. All right. It's one down out of, 400 cards to go. 399. I didn't know if any of the cards in here were going to be foil. I guess the 2 commanders are. Because they sold like a collector's edition version of these decks. Where they were all foil. Which is kind of ridiculous to me. But get it. Emotic, the Stormlord. Now, who would I actually rather... Who would I play as the commander? What are the... Out of these 2? Let me think about that. 4 mana versus 4 mana. Whenever. I think I would play Emotic, the Stormlord. Because of the Pharaon ability. Like that passive that is more intriguing to me than attacking with Scarazette. Like the fact that I don't love commanders that trigger on attack. So I think Imotech is my commander of choice, personally. So he'll probably be off. I'll probably stack on top of Scarazette. Well, I don't know how to pronounce fucking Warhammer names. Flayed one. 4/1 lifelink. Enters the battlefield. Mill 3 cards. Kind of an enabler for your graveyard shenanigans, I guess. That is like a first kind of cut if I were going to upgrade this, but that is not currently in the plan. And if I do upgrade, I would upgrade all of them, probably, and try to keep as many of the EDH cards as I could. Just try to stay on theme still. but I honestly think it's unlikely that I'll do that. This one's being a little bitch. A little too snug. Why double sleeves? For what I'm doing this for, I could just single sleeve them. I've taken to double sleeving just because I've had experience with so much experience with single sleeve cards getting kind of dirty at the top over time. This sleeve is not cooperating. Let me just try another one. Because you get dirt on the opening if you play with them enough, I find. I think the protection against curling is a little overrated. I think things are going to curl anyway. Man. This will not. Yeah, this sleeve is being a beach. Same problem. Same problem. This is not a good start to getting this done in a reasonable amount of time, let me tell you. Well, I mean, worst comes to worst, I get bored and I finish later. Nope. Yeah, pressure just puts it. Let me see if if that's just that sleeve. I'll figure it out later, or if it's everyone. Cause this is getting annoying. Yeah, I got all four. They're right here. The other ones. Hexmark Destroyer. Big boy. There we go. That one went down smooth. Plasmancer. There's battlefield. Search library for basic swamp. Put in your hand. Artifact creature. Necron wizard. Yeah. The perfects are not going all the way in these. Not had this much trouble with dragon shields before. Psychomancer. 1/1 flyer. Whenever it or another non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, or is put into exile from the battlefield, target opponent loses a life. You gain 1 life. Or exile is interesting. Again, they're pretty low power cards. Just kind of part of what I think is appealing. That is not a not appealing part of this. It's just having some decks, EDH decks that are a little lower powered than I would tend to build on my own. I just love the theming on these is just so cool. Nothing clears a battlefield like a Death Strike missile. Wait, is something moving out there? So kind of each creature that died this turn. Yeah, as opposed to my bear deck, clearly. The most powerful EDH deck. But yeah, my Joyra deck's basically a CEDH deck. It's First Strike Death Touch, though. It's a pretty scary creature. Don't want that coming at you. Hard to deal with. Triarch Praetorian. Dynastic Codes. Enters the battlefield from a graveyard. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Has Unearth 5. One punch. Much scarier than Broly. Death Touch First Strike? Oh. Much more scary. Pretty sure broccoli is still the best insult name to call Broly. I don't think you're going to top broccoli. Ooh, a vehicle. Night Scythe. There's a battlefield and you get a creature that can crew it. Beautiful. Defile. Pretty good for a mono black deck. -1/-1 for each swamp you control. Oh, Dread Return. Classic Magic card. Bolters, Flamers, Plasma. We hit the Xenos with everything, and it just kept coming. Classic card in Dredge. As Richard Garfield intended, yes. Yes. He definitely wrote Battlefield on all his cards. That's definitely the phrasing Richard Garfield used. Enters the battlefield. Cranial Plating. This is one of my favorite Magic cards. I feel like it's only a matter of time before Goku is a Magic card. Although, I don't know. Maybe not just because Dragon Ball already has its own card game. I feel like that's the biggest reason it wouldn't happen. Is the Toei would feel like they don't need it. Hedron Archive. See, this is what puts these decks over the top. Is this kind of shit, which is like a Hedron archive, another Hedron archive, and one of your EDH precons. Not that exciting. Themed art and flavor text Hedron archive. Now we're talking. Like that, all like the cards in this are themed for it with extra new stuff. That's what makes these so cool. Mask of Memory. Again, another equipment I wouldn't normally put in an EDH deck, but it's card advantage and discard. Those are two things this deck needs. Yes, Dragon Ball Heroes is on Steam. And Switch? I believe it's on both. I believe it's available everywhere. Although, like the thing that makes it so good in Japan is like it's an arcade game that you interact with like physical cards. And you have like a special card that like keeps track of your account. In Japanese arcades. The themed and like every one of these decks has their own unique themed Soul Ring. Once the Catan sought to rule us, now it is they who serve us, their shards powering our great machines. It's fucked up. I don't know what Dragon Ball Legends is. Would be. That name doesn't recommend. Or ring a bell. Oh, a mobile game. Yeah. Now you've reminded me. I remember now. Gotta be a gacha game, right? Has to be. Barrenmore. So I think the overlap is on the lands. I think the lands are just Warhammer themed. They're not themed for their faction. That was like the one compromise they made. Which is fine. They're still new themed for Warhammer versions of the lands. But I don't know that I need my Tyrannid Myriad landscape to be that distinct from my Necron Myriad landscape. I'm good with them making that concession, I guess. Them drawing a line. Like Dragon Ball Heroes, the card game, not only does it have its own promotional anime, it has its own. It also has its own promotional manga. I think Toyotaro, who does the super manga, the first Dragon Ball thing he worked on was the the manga for the card game. I think. I know he also, there's a weird thing with the super manga where the first thing he did an adaptation of Resurrection F specifically. Oh, look at this reliquary tower though. Let the others bicker over their little worlds and stars. I have an empire of knowledge and it encompasses all others. Tries in the infinite. So Toyotaro did a Resurrection F manga that is only like, it's promotional, so it doesn't even it's only like the beginning of the movie. It doesn't even adapt the whole movie. But then when they did the super manga, since he had already done Res F, they just skipped that part. So technically, like, the second half of the Res F movie has no manga adaptation. Just the start of it. And it's not, and the Resurrection F part isn't in the trades. I don't think they ever localized that over here. I think you just have to go with like scans online if you want to read it. Which I haven't, actually. Darkness. Look, it's fog. By the physical laws of our universe, darkness is merely the absence of light. Necrons can harness the power of other dimensions where darkness is tangible and moldable. Fucking edgelord fog over here. Pure, unadulterated. Grim dark darkness. Go for the throat. Destroy target non-artifact creature. Pray that night is upon us, for if this twilight is the work of the Necrons, we are all dead men. Prior to the Blood Moon massacres. So many massacres in 40k. So many. Just constant. Is my understanding. Again, I actually know very little about Warhammer 40k lore. Necron Arcane Signet. All Necrons bear the mark of the Triarch, a brand upon their living metal skin that binds them to their destiny. There's a little mark. No, life is a highway. Life is like a hurricane. More mana rocks, Commander Sphere. Within it rests the power of a sun and none of the warmth. Alright, see you, Ben. Thanks for hanging out. During the biotransference, the Necron tier lost almost all individuality. What little remained was imprisoned within living metal form. It looks so sad looking at his little mind egg or whatever. Thought vessel. Before the Great Sleep, the Necrons knew every corner of the galaxy, as only the ultimate conquerors could. Oh. Necron, is that a reflection? It's looking into his mind orb? Not an orb. I don't remember the name of that particular three-dimensional shape. Squeeze some air out of these. Unstable obelisk. It's a lifeless ruin of some long-lost race. What is there to fear? Did you ever played a video game? Obelisks are very important. Wayfarer's bauble. And Rakier, the traveler, awoke from his slumber with a singular goal: to rebuild a united Necron galaxy. There's his face. His little arcane signet down there. He's nice and ready to cast his Wayfarer's Bauble. Got the mana right hand. Desert of the Glorified. Tapland Desert. On countless frontier worlds, below silica, sand, blasted chalk, or bubbling marsh, slumbering Necrons wait. Just they're all buried under the sand there, waiting to pop out. Polluted mire. As the continent sank over the course of eons, the tomb complex slowly flooded. The sleeping Necrons, their stasis crypts corrupted, never awoke. Aw. That's sad. 4 Necron babies. They never woke up. Vault of Whispers, a classic artifact land. Heretic cultists came to the planet Sovereign in search of resources and precious artifacts. They found something else. Anarkir the Traveler. Legendary artifact creature. He could be the commander. No. Whenever he attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equal to its mana cost value. Used to be cost, now it's mana value. Rather than paying... Sure. Rather than paying its mana cost. Okay. Though it may take an eternity, I will see the myriad dynasties united once more. Now, that's an attacks trigger that I kind of think is better than the default commander. But I do like having lower CMC commanders in general. Here we go. Biotransference. Creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature token. That's just a cool card. Chronomancer. Artifact creature. Necron wizard. Flying. Atomic transmutation. Tap 1, tap it. Sacrifice another artifact, draw a card. And it has unearth for 3. Cryptek. 4 mana, 3/3. Artifact creature, Necron wizard. Choose another, tap 2, tap it. Choose another target artifact creature you control. When that creature dies this turn, return it to the battlefield tapped under your control. There are those who draw false comparisons between the tech magi of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the xenotechnologists of the Necron race. There can be no mercy for such heretics. Good to know. Now I know not to show mercy. Because I might have. Who knows what mood might have struck me that day. But sleeves, please. Obey. Illuminator Xeris. Legendary artifact creature Necron. Secrets of the Soul. Tap, sacrifice another creature. and an amount of black mana equal to the sacrificed creature's mana value. Immortality is not quite the same as invulnerability, but it's close enough. Squeezing the life out of these cards. There's life in there. And by that I mean air. Locust, Heavy Destroyer, 3/2 flyer, and Mythic Exterminator. When Locust Heavy Destroyer enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. And it has Unearth 8. Oh yeah, that Unearth has to be, because you could just sacrifice it. Well, no. Because Unearth still, if it leaves the battlefield, it's exiled. You don't get around. It's thingamajig. Can't escape its destiny to be exiled after being unearthed. Lich Guard. Gotta guard the Lich. Sacrifice Lich Guard. Return all legendary creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Only the Deathless can truly comprehend the burden of unfailing loyalty. Really? Is that true? Necron Deathmark. 5 mana, 5/3, flash when it enters the battlefield. Or Synaptic Disintegrator when it enters the battlefield. Destroy up to 1 target creature. And target player mills 3 cards. Generally probably going to be yourself in this deck. Destroy their creature. Mill yourself. Get some more graveyard fodder going. Just moving cards from one zone to another. Powerful stuff. Necron Overlord. 4 mana, 2/5 artifact creature, Necron Noble. Tap X target untapped artifacts you control. Target opponent loses X life. You can do it at instant speed. This galaxy once knelt before us, and it will do so again. You can threaten people at the table. That's fun stuff. Everyone's gonna hate you. But that's sometimes the name of the game. You need people to fear you so they don't attack you. Out of the Tombs. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Eon counters on Out of the Tombs, then mill cards equal to the number of Eon counters on it. If you would draw a card when your library has no cards in it, instead, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you can't, you lose the game. Hell yeah. Fucking go big or go home. Okay. You just need to not run into a Bajuka Bog. Nobody play a Tormod's Crypt. Don't do it. That's mean. Royal Warden. 5 mana, 3/2. Artifact creature Necron. Phalanx Commander. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 tapped 2/2. Black Necron Warrior artifact creature tokens on Earth 4. Just some fodder. Some stuff. Give me some stuff. I want some dudes. Shard of the Nightbringer. Creature Catan. Flying 8/8 for 8 mana. Drain life. When Shard of the Nightbringer enters the battlefield, if you cast it, target opponent loses half their life rounded up. You gain life equal to the life lost that way. Azagrod the Nightbringer, the embodiment of death, a killer of stars and of worlds. Illuminator Xeris. Yeah, I remember that guy. I was just wondering, are there other Catan? Got another one. Shard of the Void Dragon. 4 colorless, 3 black for creature Catan, 7/7 flying. Spear of the Void Dragon. When Shard of the Void Dragon attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. It's pretty rough. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, or is put into exile from the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Shard of the Void Dragon. No sacrificing. You sacrifice artifacts in my presence. It's on you what comes next. Gorpiceth Lord. Necron Noble. 3 mana, 3/2. Menace. Command protocols. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0 and have menace. Oof. And it has unearthed 3. That'll make blocking real rough. It's a bad time on blocks. if I got stuff. If I don't got stuff, less exciting. But the idea is to have stuff. Technomancer, 7 mana, Necron Wizard, 5/1. Enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Then return any number of artifact creatures cards with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. To the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you got a little train. You got a little choo-choo. Chugga, 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 chugga. Little Necron train. Oh, flavor text. Witchcraft or technology, it is blasphemous, and it must be stopped. Sounds like something Inquisitor would say. Their name is Death. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. When the Silent King saw what had been done, he knew at last the true nature of the Catan, and the doom they had wrought in his name. Well, yeah, they're big boys. The Book of Mournful Night. It's like, he's sad about being a Necron? Oh, they're also, their number is Legion. In addition to their name being Death. X, 4 black. Create X. Tapped 2/2 black Necron Warrior artifact creature tokens. Then gain life equal to their number of artifacts you control. Exile. Their number is Legion. You may cast their number is Legion from your graveyard. If it gets milled. In this mill deck. This sub-theme mill deck. Sub-theme self-mill. Pretty cool. The Necron Necro. Tombblade. Tombblader. 5/4, 6 mana flying. Artifact creature Necron. Deals combat damage to a player. That player loses life equal to the number of creatures they control unless they sacrifice a creature. This is a hope my opponents don't have flyers. Punish my opponents for having creatures that don't have flying or reach. Pick on that guy. Trazyn the Infinite. 6 mana, legendary artifact creature, Necron, 4/6, Death Touch. As long as it's on the battlefield, it has all the activated abilities of all artifact cards in your graveyard. That's pretty crazy. Archaeovists of the Solomance Galleries will not rest until every treasure in the galaxy is safely within his clutches. Now, he is called the Infinite. I don't know that the stamina to do. I do not have the stamina to do all these right now. Triarch Stalker, 5 mana, 4/5, artifact creature Necron. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent. Creatures attacking the last chosen player have menace. Scour this world of these impudent trespassers, Lord Tradech of the Sekhmetar Dynasty. These names are not. There are a lot of 40k names that are just not made to be said out loud. They're there to be letter salad. How many more cards? So, like this many? And then this is all swamps. And tokens. Okay. This is a fake magic card. See how it's too thick? They started doing these, and I don't know why. I don't know what the idea is. I think I'll stop once I get to the basic lands, and then do that off stream, and then stream the next deck tomorrow. I'm weirdly losing it. The War in Heaven, 6 mana enchantment saga. You draw 3 cards, you lose 3 life. Then you mill 3 cards. Then you choose up to 3 target creature cards with total mana 8 value 8 or less in your graveyard. Return each of them to the battlefield with a Necrodermis counter on it. They're artifacts in addition to their other types. Don't you hate it when your Necrodermis is showing? That's your undead skin. Canoptech Scarab Swarm. 4 mana, 1/1. Flying. Artifact creature insect. Feeder Mandibles. When enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Hopefully not your own. For each artifact or land card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless insect, artifact, creature, token, and flying. For each artifact or land. If nobody's playing artifacts, you have to target yourself. That could be sad. Canoptech Spider. Spider. It's like a spy that's a spider. It's a 4/4 for 5 mana whenever a non-token artifact creature or vehicle enters the battlefield under your control. Draw a card. Flying spider, not reach, flying. This spider just flies. Canoptech Tomb Sentinel. 4 mana, 4/3, vigilance, insect, exile cannon. When it enters the battlefield from graveyard, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent. No, only when it enters from a graveyard, though. Otherwise, it's just a 4/3. And it has Unearth 7. Canoptech Wraith. Can't be blocked. 3 mana 2/1. And it has Transdimensional Scout. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 3 mana, sacrifice it. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards with the same name as a land you control, which means basic land in EDH. Unless you've stolen an opponent's land and you have 1, and then you're only getting 1 land out of this. Put them onto the battlefield, tapped and tap. Also, it says basic land. But 2 basic land cards with the same name as the land you control. Okay. Ooh. I am indeed losing it. We gotta push through. We're gonna get through this deck. We're gonna sleeve up all these non-swamp cards. Convergence of Dominion. 3 mana. Dynastic Command Node. As long as you control your commander, activate abilities of cards in your graveyard cost 2 less to activate, like on Earth. This effect can't reduce the mana in that ability's activation to less than 1 mana. And you can tap 3, tap it, and mill 3 cards. Yeah, only activated abilities, not like cards that allow you to cast them from your graveyard. Those don't get reduced. Just abilities. I think mostly on Earth in this deck. Oh. Crypto Thrall. Other artifact creatures you control have hexproof. Bound to a cryptic, the Crypto Thrall exists for one reason: to defend its master to the death. Not even gonna joke. Not even gonna do it. Ghost Ark, 4 mana, 3/3 flying. Whenever Ghost Ark becomes crude, which you can just do whenever, as long as you have the creatures, each artifact creature card in your graveyard gains an Earth 3 until end of turn. Necron Monolith. 7 mana, artifact creature, vehicle. Flying indestructible. Whenever Necron Monolith attacks, mill 3 cards. For each creature card milled this way, create a 2/2 black Necron Warrior artifact creature token. Crew 4. Indestructible, though. So 7 mana vehicle. Gotta have stuff. Gotta have stuff. It makes stuff. You get more stuff, but starting point. Gotta have stuff. Oh yeah, this is another one of the cool, super cool cards in this deck. The Resurrection Orb. Now we in orb business. Crypt creature has lifelink. 2 mana. Equip 4. Whenever a crypt creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Could still get exiled, though. Not actually. Very hard to be 100% safe in an EDH game. So many ways of getting rid of stuff. Scepter of Eternal Glory. 4 mana. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. That's not a great rate. Tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Activate only if you control 3 or more lands with the same name. So 3 swamps. It burns with the very fire that doomed scarce species and channels it to devastate his foes. Fucking revenge. But also, there's nothing about this card that has to be black. It just happens to have come in this mono black precon. But any mono black deck, or any mono color deck, could make pretty easy use of this if they need a fat mana rock. No, it's not. The rate still isn't ridiculous. It's still just a Thrawn Dynamo for colored mana. Tomb Fortress. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it, add black mana. Tap 5 mana. Tap it, exile it. Mill 4 cards. Then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Resurrection on a land. Not bad. Pretty hefty cost. Comes in tapped. Fine in this deck. Fine. When that's gonna happen, when you've got at least 6 mana, 5 to play it and itself, maybe something could happen. Get one of those Catans out. Beacon of Unrest. Put artifact creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield under control. Shuffle Beacon of Unrest. That's what I like to see. Rise and serve me once more. Our buddy Trays in the Infinite. 5 mana is a lot for that effect. Well, 5 mana is a actually totally reasonable amount of mana for that effect. It's just that there are 2 mana cards that can do that. Oh, classic. Living Death. Living Death. Everything that's alive is now dead. Everything that was dead is now alive. Little swapsies. Just a little swapsies. See, now that's a 5 mana effect. IMO. Oh, mutilate. Beautiful in a mono black deck. All creatures get -1/-1 for each swamp you control. You mortals turn to dust in the blink of an eye. I only expedite your fate. You don't even hang out in the underground for fucking millennia. Fuck out of here. I don't know how long the Necrons were down there. Some of them didn't even wake up. Based on that other card, which It's honestly my favorite way to intake lore. Is just by reading the cards. That was to the extent that I cared about Magic lore. I cared about that because it was on the cards. They put it in the cards, and I read the cards, and I learned the story that way. This is just a dope Cage Sun, where that's a person. I could put this in my bear deck. It would be very different vibes. Very different vibes on this Cage Sun. Endless Atlas. Tap 2, tap it. Draw a card. Also costs 2 to cast. Activate only if you control 3 or more lands with the same name. Again, while we slept, our inferiors infested the worlds that belonged to us. Now we awaken once more. Dude, all these living people are on the worlds we used to live on before we were dead. What's up with that? What's up with that? Is that weird? Gilded Lotus. Tap. Add 3 mana of any one color. Like that other card. But it's 5 mana. But you don't need the lands. The ancient Necron race has achieved this pinnacle of elegance through their relentless pursuit of utility. Tech Priest Darvin executed for heresy. Hell yeah. I love cards that are for any color, but all their theming is really for one color. That's very fun to me. This Gilded Lotus is black. Mystic Forge. This card is ridiculous. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library. You tap 1, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. So that maybe you could. The next one would be an artifact or a land you could play. Or a colorless spell. Not land. You probably mill away your lands. With that card that turns all the cards in your library to artifacts. That's a combo. That's synergy right there. Let's play all my Gilded Lotus. Let's play all my mana rocks. And burn through my whole deck. That's magic to me. To me, that's Magic the Gathering. Oh, what a sculpting skill. Enters the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. Necrodermis, the living metal from which all Necrons are made, is endlessly adaptive. Their Necrodermis is revealed. On full display, my guy. My dude. Put your Necrodermis away. Please. Think of the other people around you. This sleeve is still fucking terrible. Maybe I put it in this way first. Maybe I put a magic card in it first. Just get it nice and loose with a magic card. Prep it. Lube it up. Nope. Still getting jammed. Bandit. abandoning this sleeve. Except that I don't know how many extras there are in here. Nope. Nope. Hope nope. Never free. There is no freedom for me. But yeah, look at this. I don't know when they started doing this. We got the real card, and we got a fake card. This one's fake. It's extra thick. It is not a magic card. This is a piece of cardboard. Distinct from a piece of cardboard. See? Totally different. This? What is this? A miserable pile of secrets. Anyway, we went through this VOD later. I hope you enjoyed. I will do this again for the other decks. But right now, I gotta stop. It just has to happen. Because I'm losing my mind. So, thanks for hanging out. Peace.